incarnation, our bodies, in the very order of creation, make visible the invisible mystery of God. Our bodies, as male and female, reveal this eternal exchange of love. And they also reveal our destiny to partake in that eternal exchange of love. How so? The Scriptures use many images to help us understand God's love for us. We have the shepherd and the sheep. We have the vine and the branches. We even have the mother hen and her chicks. We have the parent-child relationship, father-son. We have the king and his kingdom. And yet, what image do the Scriptures use far more than any other to help us understand God's love for us? Can you say that loudly, Father? Nuptial love. The union of man and woman in one flesh. This image is used far more than any other in the Scriptures to help us understand God's love for us. Think about this. The Bible begins in Genesis with the creation of man and woman, and they're called to become one flesh. Skip to the end of the story. The book of Revelation describes heaven how? As an eternal marriage. The marriage of Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis is fulfilled in the marriage of the new Adam and the new Eve, Christ and his church, in the book of Revelation. And what the Pope helps us to understand through his theology of the body is that we can look to these two bookends of the Scriptures as a key for interpreting all that lies between. God's eternal plan, if you will, employing this image, is to marry us. The prophet Hosea says, I have betrothed myself to you forever. Indeed, throughout the Old Testament, God speaks of his love, the love he has for his people, as the love of a husband for his bride. In the New Testament, the love of the eternal bridegroom is literally embodied when the Word becomes flesh. And God wanted this eternal marital plan to be so plain to us, so obvious to us, that he inscribed an image of it right in our bodies by making us male and female and calling us to become one flesh. The union of the sexes is meant to be, in a certain sense, a sacramental sign of the eternal mystery of God. That God himself is an eternal exchange of love. And that we, as male and female, are destined to share in that exchange. Here, the Holy Father brings a dramatic development of Catholic thinking. Traditionally, theologians have said, we image God as individuals through our rational soul. This is certainly true. But our Holy Father daringly takes that a step further. And he says we do not only image God as individuals, we also image God through the communion of man and woman that God created right from the beginning. And in this way, our Holy Father is saying that the sexual embrace itself becomes an image or an icon, in some sense, of the inner life of the Trinity. Now here we have to be very careful, because God himself is not sexual. We use sexual love only as an analogy of the Trinitarian mystery. And as with any analogy, as with any human